You're listening to the Bromsgrove Standard Podcast because you have impeccable taste.
Very warm welcome to this week's Bromsgrove and Droitwich Standard Podcast with me, Tristan Harris. Now, with me in the studio today, I've got Aid and Anne from the Roundhill Allotments in Bromsgrove. Hi,
Hello.
How are you?
Good morning, Tristan. Good, thank you.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for inviting us here this morning.
That's all right. You're looking bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. It's obviously all that, fresh fruit and veg you get in your diets.
Lots of fresh air.
And fresh air, of course, yeah. I didn't know where Roundhill Allotment site was, I must admit, when I did this story. Well, just for our listeners, describe a bit where it is.
It's just off Marlbrook, Licky End in Bromsgrove, very close to the M42 junction 1. Tucked out the way, down a little lane, right in the middle of the countryside.
Yeah.
So,
And you can obviously, if you grow enough produce, you've obviously got a beautiful transport link there in the M42 to get it down to those southerners.
absolutely. Straight
charge
to
more down
straight to
south.
London, charge double, exactly.
And the site itself is 100 years old, or over 100 years old.
It is. I mean, we don't know exactly the age of the allotment site, but we've got local ordnance survey maps going back to 1884 showing it as farmed land. And we believe that the allotment site goes back to the early 1900s. So it's pretty, it's established.
It's all established. It's important as well for the soil, isn't it? Because that's obviously well established now, the soil and everything. And it's been used by over 100 families, is that right?
It is, yeah. We've got just over 100 plots, so 100 families. So it's quite an active, busy site. It's one of it's possibly the largest in Bromsgrove. I think it is the largest.
Now, what are the...
Lots of different families use it, from sort of retired people right to people with young kids. I mean, there's a couple of slides and things on site for entertainment on the plots where people bring their kids up to spend the day. It's a really active site and lots of community feel about it.
Well, having spent a week in the Isle of Wight camping, I just love being outdoors myself. So it's just lovely. And so you've got the allotment site. Now, what are the plot sizes like? Because I had a friend of mine who had one with Birmingham City Council, and he's a gardener, so you can imagine he was growing celeriac and all sorts of things, and he was saying he'd only ever used like a third of the plot size.
They can be quite large. It's deceptive. I mean, they are a 16th of an acre. We've got two sizes, a 16th and a 32nd of an acre, which to the layman doesn't mean a fat lot. It didn't to me, but a 16th of an acre is quite a large back garden. If you're thinking of an old Victorian house with a large, long back garden, it's not too dissimilar to that. So it's a big space. Yeah. So they do take a lot of upkeep.
And it's, a lot of work, isn't it?
A lot of work.
But on the other side of the coin, you've got, you can't beat fresh veg that you've just picked, or like an apple off a tree or anything like that.
Absolutely.
I mean, my daughter Callie, she's got only a little tiny strawberry plant in the garden, and when we came back from holiday, of course, this big red strawberry's ready, and she was tasting it, and I said to her, is that the best strawberry you've ever tasted? And she was like, yeah, it is. And it's just satisfying, isn't it?
It is. And it's lovely, like Anne said, we've got families there with young children, and it's lovely to see them on site growing things for themselves and getting involved and digging in the soil. Things that we did as kids, but a lot of young children don't do.
Well, the other
days.
thing is as well, is the older people can pass down the knowledge to the younger people, and that's always been, hasn't it? Whatever job you're in, whatever pastime, the best way to learn is by seeing someone doing it who's been successful at it.
That's right. That's how you gain experience, isn't it, from other people?
And it's better than that, because obviously you could technically, I suppose, online you could do a bit of research, but there could be conflicting ideas. There could be ideas that don't maybe
Google's
work as
great,
well.
but
Google is great,
confusing
but
as well.
There's no response. There's no replacement for a grandpa and granddad, is there?
There isn't.
And that's the nice thing about the allotment. There's people who've been on site for 20, 30 years, who know what grows well, know what to do, and the community is about sharing that knowledge amongst ourselves, really.
We've got a couple on site now. They're our oldest standing tenants, but they came onto the site in 1968. So they've got a fair bit of experience to pass on.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
because that kind of knowledge is lost. Because I know when my dad passed away, he'd showed me a load of stuff. Most of it, like, you know, simple things like spraying the car with WD-40 when it's damp in the winter, and it starts miraculously, and little things like that, and changing a plug and things. Yeah. And there are, I mean, we've had Broad Street DIY in as well, and they ran sessions for like 25-year-olds, because a lot of the time now these skills aren't being passed down, and like simple things like putting up shelves and stuff, and they hold sessions that have been immensely popular. Like DIY things, and it is important to get that skill set passed down, isn't it? And obviously they'll pass it down to their kids, and they'll pass it down to their kids,
and hopefully it lives on.
So technically the grandpa and grandparents' advice could have probably come from medieval England, and it's just been passed down from Vikings to Romans, and all that. Now what kind of veg and fruit do you grow down there? Is it everything and anything, and what's the most popular?
All manner of veg and fruit, anything that you can think of. I mean, we've got kiwis growing on site, fairly exotic.
I was going to say, I didn't even know we could grow kiwis in this country.
We've got kiwi trees on site, and then everything down to the humble potato and peas and beans. It's just whatever you want to try, really.
And you can have a greenhouse on site, so you can grow sort of chilies, tomatoes, that sort of thing. So it's the full range of anything.
Your own mini orangery.
A mini orangery, melons, lots of,
So are you pretty much, because I mean obviously the harvest time is the main time, isn't it? Like September,
it is,
the autumn. So are you pretty much self-sufficient throughout there? Does your veg bill drop dramatically?
I wouldn't say it drops dramatically, because there's the exotic stuff, and if you want it out of season, you can either live off courgettes for a month or choose to buy other things to go along with it, because that's the thing. It's seasonal, but that's nice that you get that variety through the year. You're not.
Well, funnily enough, this is what I was saying. We had an American friend on Facebook, and she was quite shocked by the weather. She was saying, "You're still in coats and it's like 40 degrees or like whatever it is over there." Well, I think it was 90 Fahrenheit, I think it was, because they always love a bit of Fahrenheit over there, don't they? And she was like, "Can you even grow stuff over there?" And I was thinking, we've got the best conditions for growing stuff, because we have equal rain and sun.
That's right.
We never have any tornadoes to take your veg away either, so that's all good. So I was saying, we do, but we just get seasonal things, like strawberries are obviously predominantly in the summer, and then you get the different.
We don't have tornadoes, but we do have a lot of wildlife to contend with.
Around, what kind of things do you have around there?
Rabbits, deer, badgers, lots of buzzards, hopefully to control the rabbits.
Yeah, well, we saw so many buzzards while we were on holiday as well. And we also saw red squirrels, of course, which would be nice to see here.
We only have the grey.
That was one of my. That was on my to-do list. That was one of the things I did. I was googling where's the best place to see squirrels on the Isle of Wight, and we went and saw some. They were saying, actually, funnily enough, that on the Monday and Thursday is the best days to see red squirrels. And I thought, surely squirrels don't know what time of the week it is. Okay. And then the next line said, because the bird feeders are filled up on Sundays and Wednesdays. So so that's obviously
purely coincidental.
But that's the other thing. We have a couple of people on site who keep bees. So there's beehives on site, which, I mean, bees are really threatened at the moment, so it's really important.
And obviously you need the bees to pollinate as well. So it's not just that. I mean, obviously it's nice that they provide you with some honey, but also they're
that's
like,
right. Honey is the
without
byproduct,
bees, that's it. We're gone. Without bees, we're gone. So the actual shed as well, because obviously we'll talk about the open day in a minute, because you've got that coming up, which is very exciting. But we've got the £10,000 National Lottery funding that's brought you a new community hub on the site, because the one you had was no longer fit for purpose, 40 years old, an old football changing. Was it football pavilion?
We've had it on site 40 years.
So it's older than that.
And it was an old football pavilion from a local football club. And I think when it got to the end of its useful time on site as a football pavilion, it got passed to us.
We'll palm it off on that allotment.
We'll palm it off on the load up the road, that's right, And we've seen it in service for 40 years. But we started to repair it and bring it back into useful service, and realised that it was going to cost more than we could afford, basically.
Yeah.
So we looked at the options of applying for a national lottery grant, and we were successful. And we applied for the grant just before Christmas last year.
Yeah.
Got the grant, and now we've got a lovely new building.
Did Avencroft contact you about the old pavilion?
They didn't.
It's not of historical value or anything, is it?
It wasn't quite in that class.
They are big fans of the podcast as well, so they might be no, I know they've got a pavilion coming from Worcester Cricket Club, but but that might be a bit more aesthetically pleasing on the eye.
No doubt.
So you had the old football pavilion, which obviously didn't have a lot of facilities and things, and now you've got this new community hub. Tell us what you've got in there.
Well, the old football pavilion was literally just a shed, and it was used for storing stuff.
Yeah.
This new community hub now is exactly what the term would indicate and suggest. It's a centre for our activities, for the community. It's got a fully fitted kitchen. It's wired for electricity. We provide our own electricity from a portable generator. We've recently had another grant given to us from Councillor Shirley Webb and her Councillors Divisional Fund, which is going to enable us to put solar panels on the roof so that we can provide our own electricity that way. So it really is a real boost for the whole community at Roundhill. All the events that we have, our curry nights, our cheese and wine evenings, our social get-togethers, our monthly committee meetings will all be held on site now in a purpose-built building.
Well, I suppose that's the thing, isn't it? Because people listening might think, why do they need a kitchen and a community hall and everything on an allotment? Surely they just go and veg, having a cup of tea and going home again. But you do hold, so you hold cheese and wine nights, curry nights. Yeah. What else have you got? Bonfire night in November.
We'll have an annual show and summer barbecue.
Yeah.
Which is...
Let's mention that now. That's a week on Saturday, August the 31st. So it's an open day and a produce festival. People can go along, see what the plot holders do, have a chat. Councillor Shirley Webb will be cutting the ribbon.
She will.
And it comes... so you've got all the facilities on site. People can have a look around and we can... so people can find out what you do and things. So what time is that on next Saturday?
It's from midday, 12 o'clock.
Yeah, okay, so it's 12 o'clock.
It's the first time that we've ever had an open day. We'd normally have a summer show, produce show, and we would ordinarily have a summer barbecue. Yeah. Not at the same time, but they're the two summer events that we hold. This year, because we've got the new building and we're rather proud of it all, we're lumping the open day. We're having an open day and we're having the grand opening, summer barbecue, produce show, all on the same day. And it's the first time that we've actually opened up the site to the general public to say, come and have a look and see what we're up to on Roundhill.
Excellent. So, and is this something if it goes well, could that become an annual event, your summer open day? And
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. We see it as being the first of many, don't we? Yeah. I
mean, we want to encourage other people to enjoy what we think is a really, valuable thing to do. I mean, there is a waiting list of 26, so it's becoming more and more popular, but the more people that get involved and, as you said, learn about produce and growing their own things, the better.
Well, it's a big thing at the moment, isn't it, the environment? And, I've said it once, I've said it a million times. We're not the worst country in the world, so I can't understand all these protests. But, more environmental. We've got to do something, even though we are doing quite a lot in the UK. We're in the top 5 in the world. But, this ticks all the boxes, doesn't it? You're growing your own fruits and veg, so you're cutting down on food miles. You've got solar panels on the way, which are going to be generating your own electricity. Obviously, you've got water butts, I assume, on site and everything to collect rainwater. Yeah. And then, this is the best possible thing. And then, so the produce, going back to the produce show, what kind of categories do you have in that?
Oh, all the usual ones. There's sort of, the longest carrot, the tallest sunflower. There's producing a mini garden for the kids, so to get the kids involved. brassicas, root vegetables.
The most unusual vegetable.
Yeah.
The ugliest
funniest shaped vegetable. I mean, it's the standard stuff, really. Fruit cakes, jams, chutneys, wine. All the things that you can produce from an allotment are on
the best possible potato salad in Bromsgrove next
and the
week.
best potato salad in Bromsgrove, yeah.
And have you? So obviously, there's the produce winners. Has this ever expanded nationally or anything? Has anyone ever won like a bigger prize further afield?
No. We haven't ventured that far.
Because I know, because it was National Allotment Week last week, wasn't it?
It was.
So it's very timely that we're doing this now.
Yeah.
So you haven't thought about trying to grow the world's biggest pumpkin or anything? Or?
Not yet. No, but it's early days.
Early days. Yeah. So that's all good. I want to talk to you as well about obviously this thing a few weeks ago with the community gardens idea, because obviously you said they've got a waiting list of 26 for the allotments, and allotments have always been like that, haven't they? They've always had waiting lists. So what do you think of this community gardens idea, to use any plot of land that the council has or doesn't?
I think it's a great idea, and we were talking with Councillor Shirley Webb only last week about an area in Catsill that has been identified as being wasteland that they are going to do exactly that with.
Yeah, I think when she came in, she mentioned that.
And I think it's a great idea. It's turning unused plots of ground into something that's aesthetically much more pleasing, but useful as well.
I think there is a danger as well with the way schooling's going at the moment, that everything is so classroom orientated. You know, they've cut down on drama, they've cut down on sports. Yeah. I mean, when I was like second year of infant, so the one after reception, I remember finding an old school report, and it said Tristan can now count up to 10. Well done. Whereas like my daughters are doing like long division by that age and things. There's so much pressure on the kids these days, and
the emphasis has shifted completely
to academic studies. And I think allotments and community gardens would be an ideal way to extend their skill set past the classroom and give them some practical things.
It is absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. So we've got just to recap. Before we move on to the news, we've got the open day next Saturday, August 31st, Roundhill Allotments is it Licky End, yeah?
Yes.
Licky End.
Yeah.
And it's 12 p.m. onwards. There's the produce show. You've got a barbecue. People can see what you do down there. Strike up, meet new people. There's nothing better than meeting new people out in the fresh air.
Fun and games for the kids.
Whilst chomping on a potato salad that's the best in Bromsgrove. Right. That is it's an ideal Saturday afternoon.
It sounds perfect. And we've booked the weather.
You booked the weather.
For it
okay, that's good. Yes. Yeah, well, it's not a bank holiday, so you should be all right.
We should be all right.
And and how can people get in touch with you if they want to get in touch with the Roundhill Allotment folk?
We've got the website.
Yep.
And Facebook page, and we're on Instagram and Twitter. So we've got all bases covered, basically, and we're not difficult to find.
And also, we've got obviously the story on the website that went on live last week.
We're in the standard this week on page 12.
Yep, and also we've got so people can go onto the website and click through as well. I think to your website there if I've set up the story properly, which I think I did. Cool. Are you okay to hang around and chat through a few news stories?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Cool. A-levels. Obviously, we've just been talking about how everything was academically scheduled these days, and obviously the biggest day of the year, arguably, for schooling was the A-level results day, which I very cleverly booked off because it's quite frantic in the office on A-level results day. North Bromsgrove High School, they celebrated what head teacher Nick Gibson described as a pleasing set of A-level results. Now, if you remember, we've covered this on the podcast before, and we have got Nick Gibson has promised to come on this podcast, so it's out there now, it's on the record, so he's got to do it now. Last year, the school was put in special measures by Ofsted after a condemning report. Nick Gibson was appointed in October 2018, and miraculously, the school came out of special measures in record time. One of the quickest in the country, if not the quickest in the country. We don't have anything like that. And what they said was, I think they got them out of special measures, so they were performing okay, but the problem was the results. The last results they had were not good enough to take them to the next level, so they needed to wait for the next results to come. So they're going to have to undergo another Ofsted inspection, which, speaking to Nick Gibson and knowing what a great job he's done, and what an optimistic, how proud he is of the school. He won't fear that at all. He'll want those Ofsted inspectors back in as soon as possible, and then they can combine that with the results, and hopefully North Bromsgrove is going to be on its way to being an outstanding school. Hopefully.
It deserves to.
It deserves to. I mean, we had a lot of... I mean, we did the stories in the dark days when one parent contacts you, you think, has this parent got a gripe with the school? But then the level of people contacting us, there was something that needed changing there. And obviously those changes have happened.
Both my children went to North Bromsgrove. I went to North Bromsgrove. Yeah. And it's a fantastic school, potentially. Yeah. And that's obviously what something was amiss, which needed addressing, but hopefully it's come through and come out the other side.
Yeah. Fingers crossed for continuing improvement. And what Nick Gibson was saying, part of him, he said it was good because South's up there, and you've got Bromsgrove School, and you've got Waisley and Droitwich. You've got some great schools around here, and he just wants North, South, everybody to be firing on all cylinders and providing the best possible education for the people of Bromsgrove district, which is hopefully where we're all heading. He said it was Mr Gibson and Head of Sixth Form Sarah Figg said they were delighted with the students' commitment and dedication, and paid tribute to the hard work of the students and the staff and everyone, and then obviously hopefully looking forward to the next Ofsted. South Bromsgrove High School, it maintained its high standards for both A-level and BTEC. 44% of all A-level passes were at A-star to B, an increase of 4% on last year. 51% of BTEC entries were either distinction star or distinction. Overall pass rate of 97% from a year group of 166. Many excellent grades in the school, with 22 students achieving at least 2 A grades and 11 students gaining 3 A stars or A's. And then there were 68 students as well. Going back to what we said about the non-academic stuff, 68 students completed their Duke of Edinburgh Gold Award as well. So that's, you get, when you do Duke of Edinburgh or get the kids out on an allotment, you get rounded individuals, don't you? You don't just get people who've got no social skills and they're just heading for a work life where they.
And it's a good introduction into camping as well.
It is, camping. Oh, yeah. I've learned. I'll make it up as I go along. I had to repair a pole last week. I was chatting to the owner of the campsite, and she's going, "Are you enjoying your stay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, thank you. It's brilliant. It's going well." And then I heard the wind was picking up at this point, and I heard an almighty crack, and I went, "That doesn't sound good." So that's what I said to her. I said, "I'm going to have to go." She said, "Okay, yeah." And the pole had cracked. And I don't know if there's anyone out there camping, but it's just the worst job ever, repairing a pole, because you have this little thin bit of wire that you get onto the elastic bit, and you have to feed it through.
Yes, I've done that.
And it's hooked on to, like, you can only afford to hook it onto 1 or 2 fibres, and if it snaps, it goes back down the poles, and then you have to start again. And I'd repaired it once, and then I noticed that as we pulled the pole out, there was 2 more that were snapped in the middle. So we had to get the whole thing off again. I think the whole process must have taken over an hour, but I've now got a beautiful tent pole. I'll move my windbreaker then to put it around there to try and give it some more protection. But yeah, good. I advocate camping in the same way I advocate allotments. It gives you lots of social skills and outdoor skills as well.
It does. Yeah.
Maybe you could have a little bit of a campsite near your allotments. Like, people can come and
we'll have to have a word with the council over that one, I think.
One of the plots then. Don't turn them all into community gardens. I've got a great idea.
No, that's right.
Head teacher Chris Smith, going back to South Bromsgrove, congratulated all the students on their outstanding achievements, thanked parents, governors, teaching staff and support staff, and for their excellent leadership and support for students. Waisley Hills High School continued its upward trend with a 96.5% pass rate overall, and 2 of Waisley's finest students, Kate Benson and Joe Pawley, both received 2 A grades. And Droitwich Spa High School, excellent results for them as well. 48% of entries were A star, A or B, 3% higher than 2018. And the vocational courses students, they achieved better results significantly than last year. Successful pupil Maddie Hen, she achieved A star grades in English Literature and Theatre Studies, as well as an A in history. She'll study dance and applied practice at the University of Worcester. So well done to everyone getting their exam results. I hope if you've been through clearing or you've sorted out your offers, I hope you're well on your way to uni and buying all those cooking utensils and doing all the stuff that I used to do, and checking out the universities with the lowest pint prices. That's always no, don't really do that. That's just me.
Excellent news.
Congratulations to them all.
Yeah.
Trains, never too far away from this podcast. as Harry interviewed Alan Humphreys last week about the dreadful service to Droitwich. There's a new rail card introduced this week, 16 to 17-year-olds. It's called the 16 to 17 Saver. There's a story about it on our website. You can click through there, and it's basically the young person's rail card is £30 a year, and it offers a third off all fares, but you can't use it in peak times. Whereas this new one, it's £30 as well. It's 50% off all rail fares, and you can use it in peak times. So it's aimed at making college trips easier. And gone are the days.
That's
aren't
good.
they? Gone are the days when we used to get a free bus pass, at school. When we used to do that.
But something like that is
something like that is good. 50%. I could do with 50% off my rail card as well, because £100 to go from Northhill to Redditch per month is just, and I can't go anywhere outside those two stations. Just that journey is just ridiculous. So congratulations to that. So if you are heading to college or uni and you're 16, 17, it went on sale on Tuesday and it can be used from September the 2nd. So make sure you take advantage of that, because let's face it, the government don't give much away, do they? So you might as well enjoy it when it comes.
You can. That's right.
And good luck to GCSE students as well. We're recording this on Wednesday. GCSEs come out tomorrow. So obviously in a couple of years' time, they'll be mentioned in our A-level roundup. So good luck to them.
Yeah.
Oh, academic! It's the academic highlights of the year. We've got harvest time approaching for you lot, so it's a really busy time of year.
Busy time it is.
Busy time.
Staff at Northfield's Royal Orthopaedic are celebrating after finding out it's been shortlisted for a prestigious accolade in the Health Service Journal Awards. The hospital on the Bristol Road is through to the final of the Acute or Specialist Trust of the Year category. The ROH fought off tough competition from hundreds of other hospitals in the contest, which recognises outstanding contributions to healthcare. Judges praised its visionary spirit, ambition and impact it has on all patients and staff. And the Royal Orthopaedics already ranked among the best hospitals in the country for patient experience. It's always in the top 20% of the National Inpatient Survey and the Friends and Family Test. It always scores high in that. It's going to find out if it's won its award at the Battersea Evolution Centre on November the 6th in London. So good luck to everyone there. That was one of our best read stories yesterday. And to be honest, I live in Northfield myself, and we used to deliver there. We used to deliver papers to Northfield, but that we don't anymore, but we've got a big following online. And to be honest, I haven't really heard of anyone have a bad word to say about the orthopaedic.
No.
It is amazing. My dad had a knee replacement there a few years ago, and I think he was up and about in about 6 weeks or something. It was just absolutely incredible. Yeah. So well done to the Royal Orthopaedic, and good luck in the final. We've got some sad news now, some quite shocking news. We had a Shetland pony in a paddock in Tiverton had its tail stolen in a barbaric attack. The 24-year-old horse was targeted between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. last Friday. The pony was roughed up and had its tail cut right back almost to the bone. The pony's owner believed the theft might be related to some kind of treasure hunt. Witnesses or anyone with any information, if you've got any of that, if you know anything, please get in contact with the police 101 or Crime Stoppers on 0800 555 111. Why would anybody do that?
What is that about?
It's horrendous.
It's just barbaric. Yeah. The pain that the horse is. Shetland pony, mini horse. The Shetland pony is 24 years old, and to put a creature through that, most people would find that you just physically can't imagine doing that.
It must have taken some restraining.
You would have thought so, yeah.
To be able to carry out such an act.
It's just, you don't know.
Horrible. Horrible.
It's not something somebody could do on their own either.
No.
It's a group.
It does sound like you need more than one person to do that.
Sounds like it to me.
Right, and moving on to happier news, happier equine news. My favourite story of the week is our and finally for this week. 2 police officers had a mare of a morning in Bromsgrove when they were given a run around by a runaway horse. That was yesterday morning, so Tuesday at 5:30 a.m. PC Danny Fulford and PC Osborne were chomping at the bit after receiving reports about the animal on the loose. The horse was having a field day, or should that be road day, as he led them on a chase around Ulster Road, Huell Lane, Pikes Pool Lane and Old Burcott Lane. Oh. And they're quite long roads, aren't they?
He knew his way around.
The horse did, yeah. I'm not sure the police officers did. After tracking down a head collar and finding a temporary field until the owner could be found, the pair proved they were the main men.
Very good.
And managed to rein the animal in. They decided to call him Bullseye, apparently from Toy Story, apologised for any traffic delays. I'm not sure how many there would be at 5:20am in the morning. While the horse was caught, the owner was being sought when the officers finished their shift yesterday morning, but I spoke to someone in the control room and they said the person who owned the field knew who the owner was. So hopefully the horse has been, or the Shetland pony, sorry, I keep calling it a horse. Oh no, so this is a horse, the other one was the Shetland pony. Hopefully the horse has been reunited with its owners. And I wrote that story on the hoof.
Well done.
Well done.
Moving on to sport, I think. We've got no horse racing in the sports, sadly. Bromsgrove Sporting back in action after the start of the season. I've just looked at that division this morning. There's some big names in there. Hensford Town, Rushton and Diamonds. They're in the Southern Premier League Central. They're 3 games in. They're in 8th position. They've got 1 win and 2 draws. And Bromsgrove Sport, I think I'll lose track of how many promotions they've got now. I think it's 3 or I think they've had 3 promotions on the bounce. So you never know if the team are going to be able to perform again. And obviously they lost Jason Cowley last year to Stevenage, who was I want to talk about the main man. He was the main man up front, but obviously it's a team game and everyone is good, and so they're proving. They went 2-0 down to Colville Town on Saturday, an established team who were also unbeaten, and then Cole Perry got 2 goals in the 90th minute to equalise, 2-2 for Sporting. So well done to Bromsgrove Sporting. They've got a big few days coming up. Bromsgrove versus Leicester Road on Saturday. That's 3 o'clock. It's an FA Cup qualifying round. Now, what people don't realise is when they watch the FA Cup, some of the non-league teams have had to go through so many rounds just to get to the first round
to
proper.
where they are, that's right.
And this one is no different. They've got 5 rounds to get through. Then, if they get to the first round proper, they'll meet the teams from Leagues 2 and 1. And then, if they get 2 more rounds, obviously we're thinking ahead of ourselves here, but it'd be nice for a nice FA Cup run. If they get to the 3rd round, obviously you could draw one of the big boys, Premiership or Championship, Manchester United down the old Victoria ground. That would be fantastic.
That'd be fantastic, wouldn't it?
Leicester Road, who they're playing, are a couple of divisions below, but you don't know if Bren Kelly, he's had a great start to the season. Will he shuffle his pack and give some youngsters a go? Or we'll find out. And then also the other thing you might want to do as well is, because the first league derby against Stourbridge is on Bank Holiday Monday. What an extravaganza that'll be. Yeah. That'll be away.
Be a crowd
that'll
puller.
Be a cracking crowd puller. 3 o'clock on Bank Holiday Monday for that one. And if you want to go down to the Victoria ground for a bit of FA Cup football, Saturday 3 p.m, Bromsgrove versus Leicester Road, everyone will be welcome. Droitwich Spa, they won 5-2 away against Gornal Athletic last week. A couple of goals from James Lemon, always sharp, and Connor Collins, a hat-trick for him as well. They're 6th in the league, looking to push on, especially with the new stadia pitch that we reported a few weeks ago. So well done to Droitwich Spa. They've got a week off now and they play in the Cup next Saturday. So we'll give you more about that next week. And this is a great story as well. A teenage tennis player from Bromsgrove finished runner-up in both the singles and doubles in a national tennis tournament played at Wimbledon.
How about that? Well done.
Cameron Owen, who is coached at Bromsgrove Tennis Club, was beaten 3-6, 3-6 by Finn Logue from Cumbria in the 14s and under singles. He then also reached the final of the doubles with Toby McCall from Staffordshire, and they were beaten love 4, 1-4 by Alfie King and Finn Logue. Finn Logue's got to be a bit of a nemesis if he's not careful, like the whole Federer and Nadal thing. So to get to SW19, Cameron had to first navigate his way through 3 rounds in the singles in the County Road to Wimbledon Championships in Malvern. He had straight sets victories in all his matches, beating fellow Bromsgrovian Owen Perry 6-2, 6-2 in the final. The Wimbledon tournament itself featured 44 county winners from around the country, so to finish runner-up in that tournament.
What an achievement.
Brilliant, yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. And 4 randomly selected runners-up from the county rounds, 12 groups of 4, with 2 making it through to the knockout stage. Cameron won all his round-robin matches, dropping just 4 games in 6 sets and finishing top of his group. He then won the 4 knockout rounds comfortably before being edged out in the final. All matches were played on the Arangi grass courts to the west side of Court 1. As well as his competitors, Cameron also had to deal with rain delays as covers were being brought on for long periods. And all parents and families and the players were given a full stadium tour and a visit to the Wimbledon Museum, and their trophies were presented by none other than Tim Henman. So what a great occasion for him.
Brilliant.
And well done to Cameron, and we'll be watching you in the future. Hope we could have a potential Wimbledon champion there. Or
You
maybe
never know.
Bromsgrove
Another
Tennis
Andy
Club.
Murray.
Another Andy Murray. Bromsgrove Tennis Club is so, they've got so many. We've got another story coming up where they've got loads of finalists and winners and things. They're doing such a great job down there. And if you want to find out more about Bromsgrove Tennis Club, there's an exhibition match with new coach Finn Cook and some of the club's top juniors, including Cameron, and that's at 11 a.m. on September the 14th. There's also going to be free coaching from 12 till 1 for all ages. And for more information and to book places, email Coach James Griffiths at jgtennisltd@gmail.com or call him on 07973 666 793. Don't worry if you didn't get that, because it's on the story's gone live on our website this morning about Cameron and about the open day. So the open day, September the 14th, 11 a.m. for the exhibition match, and free coaching for from 12 till 1 for all ages and all standards as well. You can find out more and book places. So it is free, I think, but you need to book places so they need to know how many people are coming. That's about all we've got time for from the news section. Thank you ever so much for joining us. Have you enjoyed it?
Thank you very much.
yes.
Very much so. It's been
Excellent.
great. Yeah.
So you have to get this blaring out on the allotments next week when all by the end of the week. Yeah, if you heard our interview on the podcast. Thanks ever so much.
Next brand PA system.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's it. You say get
yeah.
applying to the lottery, and then we'll get you on again and talk about the PA system, and then we can do it. So thanks to Aidan and Anne for coming in, and Claire is up next with Out and About, all the entertainments that you could be doing in Bromsgrove, Droitwich and Rubery over the next few days.
For all the things to do and see this week, it's Claire Bullivant with this week's What's On Guide.
Thanks, Tristan. Yes, my name is Claire, and I'm here to tell you about some of my favourite things to do and see this weekend in the Bromsgrove and Droitwich regions. Starting off on Friday, the 23rd of August, we've got the Worcestershire Open Studios event. This is a free art event, 83 free art events in fact, and it's running all weekend until Monday the 26th. Basically, it's 180 artists of all different mediums. You've got painters, sculptors, you name it, everything. And they are all opening their doors to you at 83 different locations around Worcestershire. This is a chance to delve into unseen creative spaces, talk directly to the artists about their inspiration, learn techniques and materials, as well as a chance to purchase exclusive artworks. Some artists are actually offering refreshments, they're demonstrating their work, and even some are offering the opportunity to have a go at making some art yourself. And if you visit 5 or more studios, you can be in with a chance to win £100 to spend on some of the artwork. Amazing, right? Entry to all the venues is free, so why not go and get creative this bank holiday weekend? It's the perfect way to spend a weekend, in my opinion, whether you're an art lover or you're just looking for a family trip out. You'll definitely find something of interest to you. It's a brilliant idea, and you can find out all the details on the website, which is worcestershireopenstudios.org.uk. Also starting on Friday, going on all weekend, is Beer-mageddon happening at Stoke Prior and Bromsgrove. They call it Metal's Best Kept Secret, and it's 3 days of heavy metal, beer, music, and lots of fun. If you fancy going, get your tickets and all the information on their website, beermageddon.com. Moving on to Saturday, the 24th of August. What better way to start your Saturday morning than by running a free 5k trail run around the grounds of the beautiful Churchfields Farm in Salwarp, Droitwich. It's a 9 a.m. start, and yes, you heard me, it's free. It's also a lovely place to go. They have a delightful cafe there. There are cows. They have a pig who keeps escaping, who's very funny. They make the best ice cream on the planet. And they've got a maze. Yes, that's a maze made out of maize, which I have got lost on in numerous occasions. It's a lovely place. Check it out. churchfields-farm.co.uk. Also, a couple of local live bands to check out on Saturday night. Rumour are playing at the Pillar of Salt in Droitwich on Saturday evening. Been hearing great things about them. And Mute the Flute will be back at the Hot Pole Inn in Bromsgrove. Great venue there for live music and always lots of fun. Moving on to Sunday, the 25th of August. It's, of course, Studley Car Boot Sale. Gates open at 6 a.m. And if I may say so myself, this is surely the best car boot sale in the land. I happen to love a bargain, and I think there is just so much good stuff at the Studley Car Boot Sale. You can go to car boot sales all over the place and it's all just tat, but there really is some excellent quality stuff at Studley and you really can pick up a bargain. As I said, gates open at 6. All the details on their website, studleycarbootsale.co.uk. And if you haven't had enough of running this weekend, there's also another running event happening at the beautiful Hanbury Hall and Gardens on Sunday. This one is actually 10k. And the postcode for your sat-nav is WR97EA. And this is a National Trust event. Gates open at 8:30 to register. Do get there in plenty of time to register. And the run starts at 9 a.m. If you need more details, give them a call on 01527 821 214. Then on Sunday afternoon, it's bandstand music in Sanders Park once again, but this time it's with the Tenbury Team Valley Band. Take yourself a deck chair or just take a stroll around the lovely Sanders Park and listen to live music from 2:30 until 4:30 on Sunday. Always one of my favourite things to do if the weather is nice at the weekend. So personally, I like to invite a few friends, have a picnic, nice bottle of wine. Perfect Sunday afternoon. Then my final picks for the bank holiday weekend are on Monday the 26th of August. For the kids, it's a free concert with Wally. Monday the 26th of August. For the kids, a free event with Wally the Clown coming to Sanders Park. He'll be there on Monday between 12 noon and 4 p.m. This is a slapstick clowning at its best experience with acrobatics and uninhibited audience participation is required. We love a bit of Wally. Also on Monday, it's the Singletons Bank Holiday Bonanza. That's at Singletons Nurseries. B61OHT is the postcode for your sat-nav. They say there's going to be live music, a free bouncy castle, free face painting, £1 plant sale, gourmet barbecue. Sounds like loads of fun. Definitely try and check that out if you're local. And over in Droitwich on Monday, it's the Droitwich Spa and District Horticultural Society's 71st annual show. This is all happening at Droitwich Sports and Leisure Centre. WR9ORZ is the postcode. There's going to be flowers, fruit, vegetables, handicrafts, cakes, floral art, photographs, children's classes, refreshments and fun for the whole family. 1 p.m. kick-off there, and have a lovely bank holiday weekend, everyone. And remember, if you have an event going on, let us know so we can let everyone know. Back to you, Tristan.
Thanks, Claire. Sounds like there's loads going on across Bromsgrove, Droitwich and Rubery. Have a good week, everyone. Thanks again to Anne and Aid for coming in. Also, thank you for listening. Remember, you can get daily updates on our websites, bromsgrovestandard.co.uk and droitwichstandard.co.uk. You can also email us through there. And if you like a bit of social media, why not follow us if you're not already? We've got Twitter, we've got Facebook, and we've got Instagram. That's where all the conversations happening, as well as on our letters page, of course. So we'd love you all to join up with us on social media. And there's some cracking discussions on there. All that's left to say is have a good week. Good luck to Bromsgrove and Droitwich football clubs and every other sporting team taking part in activities this weekend. And we'll see you at the same time next week.